New York's Lower East Side, winter. Snow fell heavy on Hester Street, but inside the crowded tenements, kitchens burned bright. For Jewish immigrants, this season demanded survival, a period to fight the bitter cold and poverty with ingenuity. The air was thick with the steam of warming stews and the scent of spices, driven by traditions that defined their identity. These 25 forgotten dishes are the story of resilience, turning the harsh New York winter into a testament to enduring family warmth. Number 1. Zrazy. A hearty, comforting dish designed to ward off the severe winter cold. Zrazy featured thin slices of beef, often tougher, cheaper cuts, pounded flat, and then carefully rolled around a savory stuffing. This filling typically consisted of fried onions, sautéed mushrooms, and sometimes a hard-boiled egg or pickled cucumber, offering a delightful surprise inside. Braised slowly in a rich, dark gravy for hours, the meat became incredibly tender, releasing a deeply aromatic steam that filled the small tenement apartment. This labor-intensive meal was a true treat on a frigid night, turning humble ingredients into a celebratory dish, and its rich flavors spoke of both ingenuity and an enduring old-world culinary heritage. The long, slow cooking process melted the sinew, resulting in a dish that was unctuous and deeply satisfying. The intense savory depth made it feel like a feast, despite the cheap cuts of meat used. Number 2. Gremsel. Often enjoyed around Hanukkah, which frequently overlapped with the Christmas season, Gremsel were delightful fritters that offered a crispy, comforting bite. Made from grated potatoes, often mixed with matzo meal or flour, and seasoned simply before being fried in shimmering oil or schmaltz, they developed a satisfyingly golden crust. These savory pancakes provided a cheap yet filling meal, often served with applesauce, and were a testament to the versatility of the humble potato in immigrant kitchens. The joyous sizzle as they hit the hot fat, filling the air with the smell of fried potatoes, was a simple pleasure that cut through the winter gloom. The interior remained soft and warm, contrasting beautifully with a crisp, oily exterior. They were the perfect size for children to hold and eat quickly, a warm pocket of sustenance. Number 3. Parnassim. This deeply sweet and warming winter fruit compote was a staple for many Jewish families during the colder months, especially around holiday seasons. A mixture of dried prunes, apricots, apples, and sometimes cherries was slowly simmered with water, sugar, and warming spices like cinnamon sticks and cloves until the fruit was plump and the liquid thick and syrupy. Served warm, Parnassim was a delicious, economical dessert or a festive side dish, providing essential vitamins and a taste of sweetness when fresh fruit was scarce. Its fragrant steam and sweet aroma brought a sense of holiday festivity to even the most meager tables in the Lower East Side. The dried fruits swelled and released their concentrated sugars, creating a natural, wholesome sweetness. This gentle, spiced aroma was often the only holiday smell present in the cold, unadorned apartment. Number 4. Kichel. These light-as-air, often diamond-shaped, puffed egg cookies were a beloved sweet treat, especially popular during holiday gatherings and for guests. Made from a simple dough of flour, eggs, and a touch of sugar, they were rolled incredibly thin, cut, and then baked until they puffed up into delicate, brittle clouds, usually sprinkled with extra granulated sugar. Kachel offered a delightful contrast to heavier winter foods, melting in the mouth with a subtle sweetness. They were often served with tea, a symbol of hospitality and a light indulgence, reminding families of happier, more abundant times, even in a cramped tenement kitchen. The texture was so fragile that they dissolved instantly, leaving behind a faint sweetness. Baking them required a hot oven, providing much-needed warmth to the shared kitchen space. Number 5. Kartoffel latkes. While traditional potato latkes were popular, sweet potato pancakes, kartoffel latkes, offered a slightly different, naturally sweeter twist that was perfect for the winter holiday season. Made from grated sweet potatoes, often mixed with a bit of flour, egg, and a pinch of cinnamon, they were fried until golden brown and caramelized around the edges. Their earthy sweetness and vibrant color were a welcome addition to the table, providing warmth and a touch of festivity. These pancakes, often served with a dollop of sour cream or apple butter, demonstrated how immigrants adapted to new ingredients available in American markets while preserving their frying traditions. The high sugar content of the sweet potato ensured the edges caramelized beautifully, enhancing the flavor. The slightly spiced batter made them feel more luxurious and festive than the standard potato version. Number 6 is to fishly. During the long, cold winter months, preserved and affordable fish became a crucial source of protein, and fishly were small, pan-fried fish, often smelts or sardines bought cheaply from fishmongers. Lightly floured and quickly fried in hot oil until crisp and golden, they were seasoned simply with salt and pepper. These tiny, savory fish offered a quick, cheap, and flavorful meal, a reminder of the bounty of the sea even far from the coast. The pungent, delicious smell of frying fish would often waft from kosher kitchens onto the busy Lower East Side streets, signaling a robust and satisfying winter supper. The crisp bones of the smaller fish were often edible, providing an extra source of calcium. They were frequently served pickled or marinated after frying, extending their shelf life during the cold. Number 7. Honig-Lebkuchen, honey gingerbread cookies. A spiced, rich honey gingerbread cookie, Honig-Lebkuchen, offered a deeply aromatic and warming treat, perfect for the chilly December air. Made with honey, molasses, and a generous blend of ginger, cinnamon, and cloves, these dense, chewy cookies were often baked in festive shapes or as simple rounds. They were a winter indulgence, providing a welcome burst of flavor and sweetness during the cold nights. The strong, sweet scent of baking Lebkuchen from the community bakeries was a comforting aroma, promising small moments of joy and tradition amidst the constant struggle of immigrant life. The cookies hardened with age but were often softened by being dipped into hot tea. The intense spice mix acted as a psychological warming agent against the freezing New York temperatures. Number 8. Cholodettes. Similar in concept to pecha but made with fish, cholodettes was a popular cold dish for winter, a testament to resourceful cooking. White fish bones and scraps were simmered for hours with vegetables like carrots and onions until a rich, gelatinous broth formed, then poured over flaked cooked fish and chilled until set. This elegant, translucent aspic, often garnished with lemon and fresh dill, offered a surprisingly delicate flavor profile, making a humble fish go further. It was served as a light yet protein-rich appetizer for a Sabbath meal, offering a cooling counterpoint to hot, heavy winter stews and an unexpected sophistication. The aspic was naturally clear and shimmering, a sign of careful, skillful cooking from basic ingredients. The cold temperature of the dish was welcomed in the overheated tenement rooms. Number 9. Taichi Moloko. This delicate Lightbird's milk pudding was a more refined dessert, sometimes prepared for special winter holiday occasions or when guests were expected. Made from egg whites whipped into a light meringue, gently folded into a custard or gelatin mixture, and then chilled until firm, it was a cloud-like confection. Often flavored with vanilla or a touch of lemon zest, its airy texture and subtle sweetness offered a stark contrast to the heavier, more robust winter dishes. Taichi Moloko represented a small luxury, an effort to bring elegance and lightness to the tenement table, a memory of more prosperous times or a hope for the future. The lightness of the meringue felt like a genuine indulgence, a dessert that demanded attention. It was considered a very high-effort food, demonstrating the host's respect for their guests during the holidays. Number 10. Vareniki with cabbage. While similar to pierogi, vareniki filled with cooked cabbage and mushrooms were a particularly popular winter comfort food among Ukrainian Jews, providing warmth and sustenance. The tender dough pockets were filled with a savory mixture of finely chopped, sautéed cabbage, often with caraway seeds and wild mushrooms if available, then boiled and sometimes pan-fried. These hearty dumplings were a cheap and filling meal, often served with fried onions or sour cream, reflecting a practical approach to using abundant winter vegetables. The communal effort of folding and pinching each vareniki transformed a simple meal into an act of shared family warmth during long, cold evenings. The dough provided a substantial, carbohydrate-rich blanket for the flavorful, soft filling. The sharp, slight sourness of the cabbage was balanced by the rich, caramelized onions tossed over the top. Number 11. Krupnik. A simple yet profoundly satisfying grain and potato stew, krupnik was a lifesaver on bitter winter days, especially for families with limited means. This thick, hearty soup featured barley or other grains, chunks of potato, carrots, and often small pieces of cheap meat or mushrooms, all simmered slowly in a rich broth until tender. It was a complete meal in a bowl, incredibly filling and deeply warming, perfect for warding off the cold drafts of the tenement. The earthy aroma of the grains and vegetables provided a comforting scent that spoke of practical nourishment and endurance through the long New York winter. The barley expanded significantly during cooking, ensuring a very thick, economical consistency that satisfied deep hunger. The broth was often fortified with a bone boiled down overnight, maximizing flavor and mineral content. Number 12. Boubelet. Boubelet were individual, crisp-edged fritters made from leftover potato kugel, or a fresh mixture of grated potato, onion, and egg, similar to latkes but often thicker. Pan-fried until golden brown and crispy, they made for an excellent, quick, and satisfying winter snack or a side dish. These humble, savory treats were a clever way to stretch ingredients and reduce waste, turning simple potatoes into something delightful and filling. The delicious, slightly burnt aroma of the frying potato from the kitchen filled the small rooms with the promise of a comforting, cheap meal. The texture was denser than a latke, offering a more solid bite that helped stave off cold and hunger. They were portable and often wrapped in wax paper for a worker's midday meal on a chilly street corner. Number 13. Shichav. While often a spring soup, a heartier winter version of shichav was prepared by Jewish immigrants using preserved sorrel, often pickled or frozen, combined with potatoes and hard-boiled eggs. This tart, green soup, made creamy with sour cream, offered a unique sour tang that was refreshing yet warming. It provided vital nutrients and a refreshing contrast to the rich, heavy winter dishes, showcasing resourcefulness in preserving seasonal ingredients for colder months. The vibrant green color of the soup, even in winter, was a small, hopeful reminder of warmer days to come. The pronounced tartness of the sorrel provided an invigorating kick that cut through the monotonous winter diet. It was served steaming hot in winter, acting as a warming tonic against the cold. Number 14. Noodle loaf with mushroom gravy. This savory noodle loaf, a cousin to the sweet kugel, was often made without eggs or with fewer eggs to save on cost, and was a filling winter meal. Cooked wide egg noodles were baked in a simple savory custard, sometimes with sautéed onions or breadcrumbs, until firm and golden. It was frequently served with a rich, earthy mushroom gravy, made with dried mushrooms which were cheap and plentiful, transforming a plain dish into a satisfying dinner. This substantial, inexpensive meal provided comforting warmth and sustenance during the long, cold nights in tenement buildings. The gravy provided essential moisture and the deep, woodsy flavor characteristic of preserved wild mushrooms. The baked loaf held its warmth for a long time, making it an ideal dish for a staggered family dinner. Number 15. Bulvan. A sweet baked pudding. Bulvan combined mashed sweet potatoes and carrots with eggs, a touch of flour or matzo meal, and often raisins, creating a vibrant orange and deeply comforting dish. Baked slowly until golden and slightly caramelized, it was served as a side dish or a light dessert, particularly appreciated during the colder months for its warmth and natural sweetness. This simple, nutritious pudding showcased the immigrants' ability to create delicious and nourishing food from root vegetables available in winter, adding a welcome splash of color to the often monochromatic winter table. The slow baking concentrated the natural sugars in the root vegetables, giving it a rich, dense sweetness. Its consistency was dense and moist, ensuring it was satisfying despite lacking expensive fats. Number 16. Holishkes with mushroom and barley. A vegetarian adaptation of the traditional stuffed cabbage, these holishkes were particularly prevalent during lean times or for those who couldn't afford meat, yet still provided essential warmth. Cabbage leaves were carefully filled with a hearty mixture of cooked barley, sautéed mushrooms and onions, then simmered in a sweet and sour tomato broth. This dish offered a deeply satisfying and economical meal, embodying the spirit of making the most of available, inexpensive winter produce. The steaming, savory aroma was a comforting presence in any kosher kitchen on a cold evening. The barley swells dramatically, ensuring the dish is incredibly economical and provides long-lasting energy. The slight acidity of the tomato sauce provides a vibrant counterpoint to the earthiness of the mushrooms and barley. Number 17. Plum Kuchen. Plum Kuchen was a delightful fruit-topped coffee cake, a popular sweet treat often baked for Sabbath afternoons or when guests arrived during the winter season. A soft, yeasted dough was spread into a pan and topped with halved, fresh, or preserved plums, often dusted with cinnamon and a streusel topping before baking. The rich, sweet tart flavor of the plums combined with the soft cake provided a luxurious treat, a welcome indulgence in the harsh winter. This hearty, sweet cake was a symbol of home baking and a small celebration of seasonal fruits, bringing warmth and comfort to the tenement table. The plums softened into pockets of warm, tangy jam during the baking process. Its dense, yeasted base made it sturdy and filling, perfect for a mid-afternoon winter tea break. Number 19. Potato and leek soup. A classic and robust potato and leek soup, kartoffelpüree was a common and deeply warming meal, particularly valued during the severe New York winters. Made with inexpensive potatoes, flavorful leeks, often more affordable than onions in winter, and vegetable broth, sometimes enriched with a little cream or schmaltz, it was a simple yet satisfying meal. This thick, creamy soup was perfect for battling the cold, providing sustained energy and comfort. The aromatic steam and the smooth texture made it a household staple, a testament to turning humble root vegetables into nourishing family fare. The soft, earthy flavors of the potatoes were perfectly complemented by the mild, onion-like sweetness of the leeks. It was often pureed to a thick consistency, ensuring the minimum amount of ingredients created maximum body. Number 20. Pretzel. Pretzel was a savory onion flatbread, often baked in community bakeries and brought home warm, perfect for sharing on cold winter evenings. A rustic yeasted dough was rolled thin, topped generously with caramelized onions, poppy seeds, and sometimes a sprinkle of coarse salt, then baked until golden and crispy edged. It was a simple, delicious, and cheap accompaniment to any meal, providing a satisfying chew and a burst of savory flavor. The comforting, pungent smell of baking onions from the local bakery was a signature scent of the Lower East Side, promising warmth and flavor. The thin, crisp texture made it ideal for dipping into broth or scooping up residual gravy. It was prized for its beautiful golden color and the contrast between the soft dough and the crunchy poppy seeds. Number 21. Schlitschkes. These small, pillowy potato dumplings, known as schlitschkes, were a delightful and economical dish often served as a main course or side during winter. Made from mashed potatoes mixed with flour and egg, rolled into small logs, and then boiled. They were typically tossed with toasted breadcrumbs fried in schmaltz until golden. The soft, comforting texture of the dumplings combined with the crispy breadcrumbs offered a satisfying contrast. This dish was a genius way to transform leftover potatoes into an entirely new, incredibly comforting meal, cherished for its simplicity and warmth on a cold evening. The gentle, neutral potato flavor was perfectly elevated by the rich, savory coating of the browned schmaltz and crumbs. The small, uniform shape of the dumplings made them easy to eat and ensured they cooked quickly. Number 22. Zymes with kasha, carrot, and kasha stew. While zimas could refer to many things, this specific zymes with kasha was a hearty, sweet, and savory stew, often made in winter, combining elements of a vegetable side with a grain. Carrots, prunes, and other dried fruits were simmered with kasha, buckwheat groats, and often a touch of honey or brown sugar, creating a wholesome, nutrient-rich dish. It was a fantastic way to stretch ingredients and create a warming, filling meal that balanced sweetness and earthiness, a symbol of hope and sustenance. The combination of textures made it uniquely appealing. The mixture of chewy kasha and soft, slow-cooked carrots provided a textural complexity. The savory elements ensured the dish was filling enough to serve as a vegetarian main course on a cold night. Number 23. Kartoffelpie. This savory potato pie or kartoffelpie was a substantial, crustless baked dish, perfect for feeding a large family on a cold winter day. Layers of thinly sliced potatoes and onions were baked with eggs, milk, and herbs until golden brown and tender, sometimes topped with a crisp layer of breadcrumbs. It offered a cheap yet filling alternative to meat dishes, providing comfort and warmth. The comforting aroma of baking potatoes and onions filled the tenement apartment, signaling a dependable and satisfying meal that stretched meager resources far. The slow baking allowed the top layers to caramelize, adding a crunchy depth of flavor. The dense, moist interior provided long-lasting satisty, crucial for cold weather work. Number 24. Apple charlotka, or apple cake. A simple, moist apple cake known as apple charlotka was a beloved sweet treat, particularly during the apple season and throughout the colder months. Made with fresh or preserved apples layered with a light, sponge-like batter, it was often flavored with cinnamon. Baked until golden, it provided a fragrant, warm dessert that was both economical and deeply satisfying. The sweet, spiced scent of baking apples from family ovens wafted through the crowded buildings, bringing a taste of homemade comfort and a reminder of seasonal sweetness even in the depths of winter. The apples softened and infused the light batter with a delicate, fruity moisture. It was often served slightly warm, intensifying the comforting flavors of cinnamon and baked fruit. Number 25. Rosht. Rosht was a robust and flavorful potato hash with meat, a resourceful and filling meal made from leftover roasted meat, if available, mixed with diced cooked potatoes and onions, then fried until crispy. It was a delicious way to reinvent previous meals and ensure nothing went to waste, providing a hearty, protein-rich dish perfect for a cold winter morning or evening. The sizzling sounds and rich, savory aroma coming from the pan were a strong indicator of a substantial and satisfying meal being prepared. This dish embodied the ingenuity of immigrants in turning limited leftovers into a fresh, warming dish. The final result was a combination of soft potato and crispy fried bits, a true textural feast. A common variation was to top the hot hash with a fried egg for extra richness and protein. Though Christmas itself held no religious significance for these Jewish immigrant families, the stark reality of winter in New York deeply shaped their kitchens. These forgotten dishes, born of necessity and tradition, became powerful symbols. They warmed cold tenements, stretched meager budgets, and transformed the struggle of a harsh season into moments of family warmth and culinary creativity. In every spiced cake, every hearty stew, and every fried potato, Old World memories were preserved, and a new, distinct Jewish-American identity was forged, one comforting, resilient meal at a time, echoing through the frosted streets of the Lower East Side